with your girl Adeola. So we're all so sad about what happened in Houston, Texas, and everybody has been talking about it. They actually had hurricane. They had hurricane in Texas. It wasn't just flood. 60 people died in Texas when this happened, and it's not just Americans that were affected. A lot of Africans that were living in Houston were also affected. But while we're talking about that, I'd like us to remember what has been happening in Nigeria as well. Once again, flood has displaced 110,000 people. Of course, flood happens in other parts of the world, but it's clear that we just don't learn. So history continues to repeat itself every single year. In 2012, 430 people were killed by flood. More than 500,000 people were displaced, especially in Kogi and Benue State. And in 2013, 19 people were killed by flood in Zamfara, Kogi, Bauchi, and of course Benue State. And between 8,000 and 35,000 people were displaced at that time. In 2015, 53 people died when 11 states were flooded in Nigeria, and more than 100,000 people were displaced at that time. And then last year, 10 people were killed and thousands were displaced when there was flood. And now this year, 110,000 people have been displaced just in Benue State alone. Have you guys seen the pictures, the videos? People carrying their mattresses. For some people, that's the only possession that they have left. It's so heartbreaking. Another sad thing is that this is not peculiar to Benue State. This is rampant to every state where we have floods in Nigeria. Apparently, the chief press secretary to Benue State governor has made it known that 2 billion naira that was provided by the federal government in 2013 for ecological funds and for construction of drainage channels in Benue State was diverted into private pockets. And that's the reason why 110,000 people are now homeless in Benue State. And I'm not saying that this money would have prevented the flood altogether or completely, but I'm saying that if they had used that money to build good drainage system, it wouldn't have been this bad. Not this many people would have been affected. And you know, my question is, the moment they found out that the money was diverted, what did they do? Did they just wait until this flood happened before they started talking about it? And now that we know that somebody pocketed the money, what are they doing about it? Keep in mind, Benue State is not the only state affected. So many states flood every year in Nigeria. The question is, what are you doing to make your leaders accountable in your state? We cannot all be watching until another 100,000 are displaced in another state. Hopefully, those of you from other states, I hope that you will make your leaders accountable, because trust me, they're all getting money from the federal government to prevent the flood from happening. Everybody is saying prayers on Twitter, on Facebook, but why is nobody mentioning the names of those in charge of the 2 billion naira that was diverted into private pockets? Who was the governor of Benue State in 2013? The people of Benue State, they didn't need to fight for their right, because it's clear that those that are embezzling money could care less about what happens to common people. And the sad thing is, this flood will happen again next year. And it's not like I don't believe in prayers or miracles, but if we don't build good drainage system, if we don't do the right thing, God will not stop the flood. Yes, it rained heavily, but River Niger, River Benue, Kanji, they overflow their banks. So if we don't want to continue to lose our properties every year or to have to relocate every year, we have to hold our leaders accountable. My heart breaks seeing these pictures, these videos, especially because besides the loss of life, there is no insurance. In Nigeria, you're on your own when something like this happens, and this is just flood. Imagine, what would we do if we have hurricanes in Nigeria? So kudos to all the people that have donated to help the flood victims. So many people have donated money, clothes, shoes, food, and so many celebrities are also donating. Huge kudos to all these people. It's not just Nigeria, by the way, that is suffering with this in Africa. My heart breaks for the people of Sierra Leone. Death toll from the flood and landslide is now more than 1,000. Also in Niger, severe flood has claimed more than 40 lives and more than 100,000 have been displaced. In the Democratic Republic of Congo, a mudslide hit a fishing village last month and more than 200 people died. So in Africa, between August and now, more than 1,240 people have died. And while we remember the people of Texas, let's not forget what is happening in Africa and Asia as well. You guys not do much. Guess what? I'm just keeping it real.